Hey guys, welcome back to Think DIYs. Today we got a great video. We will be changing the oil on this car without lifting it up. So you might think, how is that possible? So with German cars and BMWs, of course, the oil filter that's normally located on Japanese cars underneath the car where the oil pan is, it's actually on top. So you can access it from the engine compartment from the top, so you don't have to go underneath. And then I got a unique pretty cool trick here to suck the oil out instead of draining it down. So let's get to it. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. This is where the oil filter is, and we will be pumping the oil out from the dipstick tube using this little pump right here. I'll include all the links in the description below. This is the filter and this is the oil. Quick story about the oil that I'm using. Obviously this is recommended by BMW, as you can see right there, and it is full synthetic oil, 5W40. It is a little hard to find, so I did some shopping around and research, and this runs about $50 each, and the best price I was able to find was actually off of the Walmart website, and I had them here within 2 days. This was for $24 each, which is a little over 50% off. Amazon had them for 40 some dollars, and other websites as well. I couldn't find anything cheaper than $35, and obviously Walmart had the best price. So this is my second time ordering it. However, it is my first time doing the oil change on my own, and I'll be using that pump. Let's get to it. Let's see how it goes. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox this together. Before I do so, I just want to point out that this little reservoir tank fills up or can hold up to 7 liters. This engine has about 6.5 liters of oil, which is about 6.9 quarts. So let's go ahead and take a look. So just from the picture here, I'm expecting to see a pump, that little clamp for organization or wrapping the cable around, putting it in there, and let's see what we find. All right, so we got the 7-liter reservoir. Just put it right there. We got this. That will go down the tube, suck the oil out. We have the little pump and the little organizer that goes on the end. And last but not least, we have some instructions on how to do it. And then you can see in that diagram where that little the little hose will go. All right, so let's put it together real quick. So this seems to be the easiest. There's a little thing right there that latches onto, it just dangles there. I don't think I really need it, so I'm not gonna put it on right now. Let's go ahead and take this off. And I believe this, just from the diagram, just take this off. It doesn't twist off, you just pull it up. And then we'll go ahead and push this down in place of it. Make sure it's good, it's nice and snug. Right, and then we'll just undo these. This is taking forever. All right, so you'll notice here that there are actually 2 cables. So I guess one is a little longer than the other. This one's a little thicker too, seems like it. Yeah, I think we should be set just with this one right here. This might be for emptying it, but we'll take a look at this later. So we'll go ahead and attach this side right here to this end. Twist it in until you can make it go inside. It's pretty tight. See, the pump is working. Let's see if I can feel it here. Yep. Yep, feel it right there. All right, so next thing is we'll go ahead and take out the dipstick, clean it, put it in a clean place, and then we'll put this down and start the process. All right, just to start, I'm gonna keep the reservoir up here and then I'll move it down. So let's take out the dipstick. You can see the oil is in pretty good shape. It's not terrible, but it's been a year. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil right now. All right, so the next thing is we'll go ahead and take this end of the tube, push it down. You want to keep going down until you feel it hit the bottom. And then once it hits the bottom, you want to move it up 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. And then we'll go ahead and start pumping. So you don't have to pump forever. You only pump. You can feel the resistance with the pump as well. Like when I'm pulling it up, it wants to come back down. So we'll go ahead and pump until we clear all the air out, and then it'll automatically continue to suck all the oil up. Yep, I definitely feel all the resistance now. It's even caving in. So I definitely know that I've done enough. I feel it getting a little heavier. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it down. I'm gonna set it on the ground and wait for it to fill up. All right, so we got it all set up right now. You definitely want it to be on the ground once you get the air out. You want it to be at a lower point. And this might take, I'm gonna say maybe 20 minutes to fill up. This is my first time doing it, so we're learning it together here. So this might take, I'm gonna check on it in 15-20 minutes and see how it goes. In my opinion, it's well worth it to wait the 20 minutes. I know draining it from the bottom is a lot quicker, of course, but not having to lift it, not having to worry about that, the mess that's underneath, this is well worth it for me. So let's see how it goes. All right, so a quick thing I noticed is that obviously there are a lot of different kinds of these pumps and different price ranges and, you know, different sizes and features and whatever. With this one, it is working, as you can see. It is a little slower, and also I think there might be a little air leak somewhere. So I've been needing every like 5 minutes, I've been needing to repump it and get the air out again. Right now it's good and it'll last, you know, for another 5 minutes. It is a little slower, but again, I mean, this is for home use, for you to, you know, save money, do it yourself, and do it at your own convenience whenever the time allows. So I just want to put that out there, that you might be able to find a better pump than this. I'll still link it below, but just keep in mind that you might find a better one than this one. It is working. It's just, you know, you got to keep an eye on it and keep on pumping it whenever, you know, whenever it gets easy again. You'll feel it once it's the air is out or leaks out and the pressure is gone. You have to pump it out again so you can create that pressure and it can suck out the oil. All right, so while the pump is getting the oil out, we're gonna go ahead and use our oil filter removal tool to get the filter out. I got this from also Walmart. I'll have all the links below. This was about $7. There are, you know, a few different kinds that you can get. This one is nice because with the limited space here, I can bend this either direction. Gives me a little more flexibility versus the belt ones or the ones that are longer. These tend to strip out, so I don't like to use the adapter that goes on top. So we'll just go ahead and give this a go. Put it there. Just gonna go a few times. Almost there. All right, so it sounds like we got it out. There it goes. I'm gonna let it drain out. I'm just gonna leave it here right now. For a little bit, I'll get it out and let it dry. And then once the oil is drained out, we'll replace the filter, replace the gasket, put everything back together, and fill it up with some oil. All right, so we got a little less than 7 liters pumped out of the car. This was a bit more of a manual process than I had thought. Every 5 minutes I had to come back and pump out the air again to increase the pressure and get the oil pumped out. So it's doable for sure. It's worth it for me, saving all the labor that a mechanic would be charging me for, getting the quality of oil that I want, the filter that I want, and being able to do it on my own time was definitely worth it for me. But you do have to keep in mind that this is very much a manual process, and I did have to pump it a lot more than I thought. Like I said earlier, other versions or other models of this pump might do a better job and might be better. This one for me did the trick, and I think I'll use it again for my next oil change. But just gotta learn that. And then also when reading the instructions, one thing I had missed was turning on the car for a few minutes before, so the oil heats up and it gets thinner, so it's easier to pump out. So I missed that step, which might have resulted in it taking longer to pump out or harder to pump out. So with that being said, this is the old filter that I had taken out. It's also a K&N filter. They'll be replacing it with another one, same exact model. And we'll fill it up with some oil and let's go. Like I said, I'll be using the same filter as before. As you can see, the nice thing about this is that it comes with the replacement gasket as well as a washer. If you had drained it from the bottom, you would be replacing this. Obviously we didn't, so we won't need to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the old rubber piece right there. It might be still in good shape, but because I have one already, so might as well. I realized that I needed a better tool, so my choice is a little nail. Get it over it. It's pretty snug, so once we get it over, it comes right off. All right, so before we put on the new one, I'm gonna go ahead and lube it a little bit. So I'm gonna take some of the oil from inside of here. It's gonna help with the seal. So let me show you what I mean. I'm just gonna go around, a little bit of oil. It's gonna create a better seal. We'll go ahead and make sure it's sitting where it's supposed to be, all the way in the bottom here. We'll go ahead and put the oil filter. It doesn't matter which way you put it on, just making sure it should fit both ways. And you heard that snap, that click, that was reassuring. So once we have this on, you can go ahead and screw the filter back on. As with anything that you screw, you always want to do it by hand first, and I gotta be careful. Got my finger stuck in there. You always want to do it by hand first, and then you'll use a tool. So let me go ahead and switch my gloves, and then we'll get to the tool. All right, so this will be the opposite of what we did first. For removing it, I'm gonna go ahead and hold it down and turn. Wearing a glove because the edges of the clamp are pretty sharp, so I didn't want to cut myself. As you would imagine, there's a lot of thread on here. Just make sure you take your time. All right, I think that's tight enough. And next we'll be filling it up with oil. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use funnel. And keep that clean. Use funnel to fill your oil in there. I have some oil left from my last oil change, so I'm going to go ahead and use that first. Take your time with it for sure. I don't know if you can see the color of the oil, but obviously there's a difference between what we got out and what's going in right now. All right, and we'll come back once we fill it up. All right, so I ran the engine a few times to let the oil run through. Checked it, needed a little more, topped it off a little, and then ran it again and checked, and all is good. So the last thing that we need to do right now is go ahead and reset the service comes up. So we want to go ahead and hold the SR button in the gauge cluster. So once you hold that down, and obviously the key is out, so we'll hold that down, and then once the little screen lights up, put your key in, switch it over to first position. You see the reset button. We're going to hold it for a couple more seconds here, and then we're going to let go, and then we're going to hold it down again for about 5 seconds. And then now we see the reset, and then we're going to let go again, and we're just going to hold it, and then, just push it once. And then end. And that's going to flash twice. Or 4 times. And then now we're all set. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.